goes. So you've now been warned. So it's my pleasure to officially call the first unified district meeting to order. We'll
Yay!
We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic
and which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the oath. On my honor, I'll do my best to do my duty. To
Do my duty, to God my country, obey the scout law, help other people at all times, keep myself physically strong, mentally weak, and morally straight.
And a prayer. So you bow your heads. Dear God, give us thankful hearts, keep us from complaining, help us get along with one another, keep us cheerful when things go wrong and our plans are upset. We pray that we may grow in love and understanding of one another. Amen.
Amen.
So, in the spirit of scouting, and to kick off virtual scouting, we're going to play a game. So to play this at home, you guys are going to need a pen and paper, or pencil and paper, or crayon and paper, blood and tablets, whatever your preferred writing method is. But you don't need to write anything quite yet. So we're going to play a game called Kim's Game. And this is taken from Baden-Powell, from Ruby Kipling's book, The Boys, Book for Boys, Kim. This is a story of an orphaned son of an Irish soldier in India who grew up among the native boys and was later trained for government intelligence work. The training began by showing Kim a tray of precious stones and gems for a minute, then covering it and asking him how many stones and what kind they were. So I'm going to show you a picture of stuff that I gathered up around my house, and after a minute, you're going to write down everything you can remember to see how well you guys do. You ready? What was that?
Shut up.
Go.
Are we on mute?
You have 1 minute to memorize everything in front of you. Everything on the screen. But don't write it down, that's cheating. You have to remember. Those of you called in, I don't know if this is if you're sitting here going, yes, or you feel left out. You can decide.
At least I'm not seeing dirty socks.
How would you know if they were dirty?
You have a teenage son.
Oh, yeah.
I have a washing machine too, so you know.
Again, you have a teenage
one
son.
does not correlate to the other.
Okay, so time's up. Go ahead and write your list. Coin.
First one.
Well, don't say that.
Lighter.
Okay, there you go. Battery, top up.
Somebody has Corona.
No, I've got bronchitis. Thank you very much.
That's what they all say.
I got lime juice too, so I'm good.
Well, you should pull it out.
Blue Denver.
And nicotine keeper. cannot read your handwriting.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Neckerchief. It's actually sitting on a neckerchief.
Yeah. That's neckerchief.
That says neckerchief.
No, it don't. That's not what that says.
That is exactly what it says.
Fighting.
So how much you get?
2015.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
15.
15.
You got 15.
No.
Yeah, I had 15.
19.
Liar.
So check your list.
Oh, yeah. I forgot the paper pad and the dime. Oh, and the Nerf bullet. Well, that's what that is. Okay.
Oh, that's what I forgot. The model paint.
And the hair tie. So, and a Band-Aid. I missed a lot. I missed a lot of them.
Didn't say anything about a screenshot. So congratulations, you've all just experienced virtual scouting and played one of the original scouting games. There's lots of variations. At first, Kim could only remember a few, but soon by practice, he was not only able to say exactly how many, but to describe the stones. Then he practiced with other articles and ultimately was able to glance to see all sorts of details of items that were of value in tracing and dealing with criminals. It's common Form 24 articles of different kinds are used. The purpose of this is to develop the faculty of observation and memory. There are variations. You can play by showing the articles and start removing them and see if people can remember which were removed. You can do first aid. You can do knots and lashings. You can do whatever you want. So on to meat and potatoes. As most of you probably know, the Great Alaska Council has decided to realign all scouting units, or the scouting districts away from districts into teams. There's a Cub Scout team, a Scouts BSA team, and us in Southeast. We have the opportunity to rename the district. And to that end, there's a survey on SurveyMonkey. The link is here. And if you open your chat box, there's a document there of various resources for distance scouting that you can take. There's links there, and one of the links is for this SurveyMonkey. So if you go to this SurveyMonkey link, you can vote on the name of the district. There are six finalists for the name of the district game, and they're right here: Coots, Panhandle, Rain Coast, Archipelago, Forget Me Not, Gateway, and Southeast.
That's 7.
Okay, I can't count. So the district is yours. I quit. It's all yours.
I also put that information, Scott, on the Facebook page.
Okay.
You're fine. Keep going.
My wife's looking at me weird. So yeah, okay, there's 7. I put 7 choices on the SurveyMonkey. We want you to go there and pick 2, your 2 favorite ones. I'm going to let it run through the month, and as we get to May 1, I'll look at it and declare a winner.
gotta put that.
Scoutmasters, feel free to share it with your scouts. So, what we know right now is, I want to remind you that a scout is obedient, as tempting as it may be to violate the health directives from the state and the various cities, be it Ketchikan or Juneau. Don't. And as long as the health directives are in place, all council and district activities are postponed unless they can be delivered remotely. So scouting for food in Juneau is postponed right now until we'll reevaluate it at April 11. I anticipate all the social distancing and stay-at-home orders to be extended past April 11th. That's my guess, based on what I'm seeing on the way the cases of COVID-19 are evolving, both here in Alaska and elsewhere in the world. The spring camporee in Anchorage has been canceled. If you have scouts working towards Eagle, they can file an extension through September. Scoutmaster conferences can be done online. The Scoutmaster, it's your discretion, but you can allow time missed by the pandemic to count for participation in leadership requirements. So if you have a scout who's required to have leadership requirements of four months for like STAR, and you've canceled scout meetings because of the pandemic, that time can still count towards his leadership time. Does that make sense?
Yep, good here. And the camporee we had scheduled this weekend in Ketchikan, it's also been canceled.
Okay. Parents can sign off Webelos and Arrow of Light requirements through July. And OA elections can now be completed via Skype, WebEx, Zoom, etc. So if you want or have scouts that are eligible, there is a mechanism that we can have for voting them in. And the thing I saw from National is that they have 2 years from the time of the election to complete an ordeal. So, camp. What I know is that planning is ongoing. Staff has been interviewed and have been offered positions. The draft camp schedule is complete. The draft menu is complete. Is it going to be canceled? I don't know. Sam was on. I'm assuming he's still on. I can't see everybody right now. If he wants to address this.
Yeah, I'm here. So the Council Key 3 has a what do you call it? I guess agreement that you basically based off they're making decisions on things 3 weeks out. So like for instance this month all these activities that are canceled are all based off of the information they have from the state and local government for the health pandemic. And so they're canceling things 3 weeks out, hopefully giving enough time for folks to do rearrange and give notice. Camp will be decided on by May 1st, so late April or May 1 is the hopeful deadline there to come to a decision about camp. All the payment deadlines have been moved back 15 days. So the final payment for camp is May 15th. And then the final payment, if you want to have all your payments in to get free shirts for your scouts, that's back to April 30th. And so all that's been shifted back 15 days to help with kind of what's going on. There was a letter that got sent out, and it should have hit everybody who was the camp coordinators who registered their units for camp. It went to all those registrations plus trail talks or the constant contact about the steps we're taking and kind of what's in play here. It's obviously all over social media too. The long story short, the goal is May 1 be the end of the decision.
Thank you, Sam. Emily's on too. She's the program head or the program director for the camp. If you want to say anything.
I think Sam covered it all. We are planning a program, so we will be ready for camp no matter what decision is made.
Any questions for anybody or from anybody regarding camp at Eagle River?
Well, I guess it kind of, this is Fred. If we have to have the final pay.
You cut out.
Am I unmuted now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I was going to say, if you're not making the decision till the 1st of May for camp, having people pay by the end of April to get the T-shirt disc or that benefit, you know, that's a lot of extra work. Could that one of those dates be either backed up or extended a little bit? I realize there's probably a suspense for getting the T-shirts done, but you know, it seems like a lot of work to go through to track people down, get them to pay for camp, and then the next day decide not to do it, and then have to refund all the money.
Yeah, I can look into getting that decision made out.
Yeah, I just think that would be better.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll shoot it for right after, probably the 2nd then, if that's the case.
For the T-shirts?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That would work.
Because I have to have some leeway to get them placed and ordered and sent in, and it takes 6 to 8 weeks, depending on the manufacturer. So.
Sure, no, I understand that, but it seems like if we go through a lot of effort to get the money all collected and sent in by the end of the month, and then the next day you guys decide not to do it, then,
right.
You know, anyway, just a thought.
Yep. Nope, it's a good thought.
Can you guys extend the camperships that the popcorn sales got to next year?
I haven't been told that was going to be a thing, but I don't suspect it won't be. I'd have to double check though.
Because I know a lot of families are probably
so
not going to be able
ask.
to afford to go to camp, but still want to use the camp.
Right. No, that makes sense. So that I will ask.
Sam, is there any discussion of delaying camp to July or August?
That conversation's ongoing. Depending on how long this goes, I think the most realistic thing is if it is canceled, it'll probably be August. But that conversation's ongoing with what they're planning on doing and how long this actually goes on.
Yeah, I know it's impossible to plan.
Right.
They're anticipating a fall surge. You know, to let you guys know, I mean, that's a kind of
I missed all of that.
Decisions for like their surge of COVID-19 as well. You're cutting out.
Yeah. One thing I'm willing to entertain is obviously it depends on how the COVID-19 virus goes locally. It may be that if we get a handle on it locally with the travel restrictions that are in place coming into Juneau, that even if the council-run camp has to be canceled, we could do something locally and go out and have a long weekend and let boys run around the woods with doll sticks and bang on each other or something. But it's all going to depend on what happens with the virus. So any further discussions on camp? So the goal for tonight is to formulate a plan to ensure Cub advancement and bridging, to develop service projects can be completed by individual scouts and their families. I would like to develop a plan to offer distance delivery of the tenderfoot, second class, and first class skills, or those skills that we can deliver remotely, and come up with a distance delivery of merit badge classes. In the handout that is in the chat box right now, you can download, are lots of links to various places. Councils all over the country are offering merit badge classes that are open to every scout. The problem is they've been filling up really, really quickly. I'm aware of a council out of Florida that's charging $5 a merit badge, but their classes are getting full. Great Alaska Council has some information out, and there have been troops that have successfully done this. There's a link to a YouTube video of a scout troop that filmed their first virtual meeting. It's 90 minutes long. You can watch it. There's a troop out there that did a virtual camp out where the scouts camped in their backyards, their living rooms, their basements, kind of thing. They got together in the afternoon. Then they went out, set up tents. Everybody cooked their own meals and shared their own meals over WebEx or Zoom or whatever they were using. Then they had a campfire program. That morning, everybody got together after breakfast, and they had a Scouts Own survey, or Scouts Own service, and they seemed to have a good time, and they liked it. So these crazy things can be done. We're limited to our own imagination. But the key here is we don't give up and we don't stop delivering a program.
They can't see the documents in the chat box.
It's a PDF at the top. If you go to the top of the chat box, there should be a PDF there.
Nope.
Right here. From me to everyone. Can you see this?
Nope.
Can you see the white box?
Maybe if you resend it.
That might be a problem.
What?
Because it's just linked to your. File.
That's what I did.
You can email it out afterwards. Sorry.
Scott, this is Dennis. If you could email that out later, that would be great.
There it is. Oh, there it is.
Okay. There we go.
Now we're cooking with grease.
I have no idea why I had to put it out twice. The other thing I could do.
Weather's looking good in Anchorage there, Sam.
I know, ain't it?
So you should now see it. A lot of it's just web links. National has a site up and running. The council has a site. You can download the Boys Life app and get a year's worth of content for free. Here's the blurb about that virtual camp out. So it should be available in the chat, and I can certainly dump it into email for you. But I really would like us to develop a plan to come up with how we're going to accomplish these goals of making sure our Webelos are advancing, that our scouts have opportunities, and particularly if we could figure out a way to do service projects remotely. So feel free to brainstorm. I don't have all the answers. And crickets.
This summer, when I was working at camp in Oregon, I continued to have den meetings over the summer with my den via the internet. And I gave everyone homework, and everyone checked in and shared the things that they had worked on during our meeting.
Yes, I want you. You're a know-it-all teenager. Can you give us the answer?
Okay. About what?
How to save scouting.
The folks that put on Jamboree on the internet the third weekend of October are putting out a special edition Jamboree on the internet this weekend. One of the links is scoutlink.net. That'll walk you right through into the system. They also have a Minecraft server. If any of those young folks out there are interested in that.
So Keith, you were planning on doing a merit badge. I don't remember what it was.
Public health, of course.
That's right. It was brilliant timing. So how many, are you willing to open that up to the greater good here?
Yeah, probably. I mean, there's some stuff I'm not going to be able to do. It requires a field trip to a food service processor or the sewer treatment plant. I thought the sewer treatment plant would be really fun, but I'm sure they're not up to doing tours right now. But yeah, once I get a little bit more familiar with Zoom here, I'm impressed with your slideshow off here onto the side here, because I did find, just searching online, some weird PowerPoint that some guy had put together for that merit badge, because I don't even actually have the book. I meant to order the booklet, and I didn't.
I believe virtually all, maybe all merit badges are available digitally. So you could get it on Kindle or something like that.
Oh, that's a good point. I could do that before tomorrow's meeting, maybe. I'll check.
So both Zoom and WebEx, there's free options. I will, in full disclosure, I'm using my university account right now. The university said we were free to use it to maintain contacts with our friends and family and our other organizations we work with. So they paid for all the bells and whistles. The free WebEx program, generally you're limited to like 40 participants and 40 minutes of meeting time, but they've waived that during this isolation period that we're in. And a year subscription is only $100, and then you can host 100 people and have unlimited one meetings. And that's WebEx.
Yeah, I coughed up $15 to get the pro Zoom or whatever, so I don't have the 40-minute limit. But and I've only used it I've used it twice now. This is the third time, so getting a little bit more familiar with it.
So what makes it easy and I've done this with both Zoom and WebEx, is have two screens. So I have one screen right now that is you guys, and so I can look at you, see who my attendees are, and then my other screen is what I'm showing you guys, what you guys are seeing. So that all the web addresses right now, or my PowerPoint is on that, my second screen. I'm getting really good at it for work. The other thing I like about Zoom more than WebEx is I have the ability to put you guys into little rooms. So I can have breakout sessions where I can put little groups together in little different rooms. So if I wanted to take 20 people and have 4 groups of 5 discuss something, I can do that really easy. And then float between the two groups, or go leave and get an adult beverage and come back in 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So if Keith is going to take public health, does somebody else want to try an online merit badge? Looking at you.
Well,
You point at it, but
the boot fits.
I've got 2 other parents in Troop 11 that are willing to do it too, I think, once we figure it out. And there's some that lend themselves to this more than others, obviously, but
I'm willing to do safety and scouting heritage.
Scott, this is Dennis.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I haven't seen the list yet. Is there a list out there available for the virtual ones that you can do, or can we do them all?
There's a list of supposedly 50 merit badges you can do at home. I don't agree with everything because they have some things like first aid on it, which you do some of the lecture portion. I mean, any of them you can start and do the lecture portion, and maybe elements of it that are skill-based that we need to get together and do later. You could do backpacking online and then get together this summer or whenever, when the virus goes away, and take your 3 backpacking trips. There's lots of merit badges you can get through. I'm going to call it the lecture portion, the knowledge portion of the merit badge, that we could certainly do in this kind of format.
I agree. I was before we met tonight, I was throwing around an idea in my head. You could have a merit badge summer program. If you weren't doing meetings, virtual meetings, you could have a merit badge program throughout the summer, and just make this more like a study group for the summertime. If you didn't have summer camp and you didn't have meetings like you normally do, could we get together and figure out a merit badge summer program? But sounds like somebody's already dreamed this up as far as a virtual merit badge with several scouts or a group of scouts to do this so far.
Yeah, there's, the organization throughout, the organization is struggling with this, throughout the nation, trying to come up with a plan what to do with our scouts. I mean, this isn't what anybody wanted. So it sounds like right now we have 3 merit badges. If you decide you want to try to take this on and teach a merit badge class remotely, let us know. We'll push it out via email to the Scoutmasters and figure out some way to have people join. How many Cub Scout leaders do we have in the meeting right now? See Amy.
Me.
I'm a Cub Scout leader.
Are we?
I'm also a Scout leader in Ketchikan.
Okay. Do you guys have an idea how you're going to go forward? Do you need assistance from us in coming up with a plan and brainstorming ideas on how to get your kids through the school year?
My den has already had meetings since the quarantine.
Okay. And are you guys on track to complete your requirements?
Most of my kids have already finished.
Okay. And do you have kids that are bridging or should be bridging?
Not in my den, but my son was going to bridge, but we're trying to figure out how that will work. He's finished already, but we just need to get him to bridge over to a troop now.
Okay. And Amy, what's the status on your group?
I actually reached out to my family today. We're going to probably start Zoom meetings here this week.
Okay. I apologize to the others. All I have are phone numbers. So, who else is DIN leaders here?
This is Holly. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I was presented by Tim Whiteley, who is our Cub Master. But I think right now maybe I'll do email meetings and send out assignments and have them return images of them completing the task.
Okay.
I know we only have about 2 more requirements that we need to get done for my den to be complete. So.
Okay.
So I can tell you one thing that's worked really well with this Zoom thing, which at this point I'm kind of convinced coronavirus was started by Zoom, because I never heard of Zoom until after this all started. And now everyone's using it. But what I liked about the paid version of Zoom, so I just coughed up the money to do it for my pack. And what we're doing is we're doing our regular meetings, and then we do the breakouts by den. And that's kind of been successful. I mean, it's hit or miss. You've got kids who are 7 to 10, or I guess 6 to 10, who have the attention span of goldfish. But you know, it's at least a way for us to keep in contact with them and try. Parents have been really helpful with that too. So.
Along the lines of the special edition Jody Jamboree on the Internet, there's another organization, scoutwired.org. It's a group of scouters down under in Australia and New Zealand that have a scout-friendly server.
I know my kid has been on Zoom, WebEx, Google Hangouts, and FaceTiming his friends today, like nonstop. And they've actually been enjoying the Zoom sessions with their junior high teachers. And they're having a contest right now who can come up with the most original backgrounds. So it's kind of amusing to watch. So any other Cub Scout people here?
I guess I'm representing Pac 10 here, and we've been discussing trying to do some sort of virtual PAC meeting, and I know that the den leaders are doing stuff individual with their dens, and we don't have any Weeblos at all, so we've just got younger kids right now, so it'll be a little bit of a challenge, but we don't have to worry about bridging.
Okay. Anybody want to discuss anything else with Cub Scouts?
Well, you were asking about service projects, and I guess it could go for either Cub or boy. But May 2nd is the Scout trash pickup, where they are supposed to pick up, you know, like a pound of garbage. You know, they could do that individually in their neighborhoods.
Yeah.
When was that, Amy?
Hang on a second. I'm looking for the thing. It's supposed to be May 2nd.
Okay.
Yes.
It's called
Litter free.
Scout. It's called Scout Trash the Trash Day. They've got a website, www.scouttrashthetrashday.org. It's something that's been going on, like, for 6 years, and you know, I mean, they could easily participate, you know, individually. I mean, it's not necessarily, you know, the perfect thing, but it's one way to get them out there and participating.
Yeah, and Litter Free Day is scheduled for April 25th. I don't know if they'll try and pull any of it off or not. I think yeah, you can certainly pick up trash and socially distance yourself at the same time. I would think.
You could, but my concern is if we take a bunch of kids out at the same time and go, okay, you guys need to stay 12 feet away from your friends, that's going to be really hard to maintain.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say take them out, but set them up to do their neighborhood, or pick a trail that they, you know, are already out hiking anyway.
Yeah, and do it as family units or something. It would probably be what you'd end up having to do.
I'm just thinking the traditional way. I'm familiar with how Troop 6 does it. You know, meet at the ferry terminal and start walking north, and take half the group on the north end and half the group on the south end, and walk towards each other in the middle. And yeah, you're gonna have kids that are gonna forget social distancing and the importance of all this. And they're gonna be high-fiving and hugging and
They haven't seen each other in weeks, so that they're.
Well, you can also set them up. I mean, you know, that unit has a, you know, specific area. Set them up with certain times.
You could. You also have the added challenge there of traffic. You know, I don't want to see a kid get hit by a car. That would be a disaster. So the troops, how are we doing? Are all the troops doing virtual meetings?
No.
Not yet for 700. They just started talking about it.
Yeah, not yet for Troop 4. I'm getting ready to fire the Zoom information to them.
You're getting ready to what?
I'm getting ready to fire the Zoom pricing information at our treasurer.
Okay.
As well as their SPL.
You only need one account. I mean, whoever's hosting just needs an account. And if you have somebody who works at like the university or the state or something like that, and if they have an account, you know, go and use that one. Sam's not even.
I'm thinking Troop 4 could get it and share it with Pack 4.
Sure.
And probably everyone else can catch it
down. It is designed to be around individuals, but you know, it's just a username and a password. So is there anything else that anyone wants to discuss that we could be of any use and benefit to the scouting mission?
Well, something to think about as we eventually come out of this lockdown situation. I don't know if anyone there in Juneau is familiar with the unfortunate search we had here in Ketchikan last weekend.
Yes, I read the news article. I heard the news article about that.
Yeah, mom and her 5-year-old son went on a hike a week ago, Wednesday, kind of late in the afternoon on a snowy, icy trail. And one way or another, mom ended up stuffing her 5-year-old kid in a hollowed tree stump in moss. And we don't know if her leg was injured then or afterward, but it wasn't until Friday morning that she was found. And he was not found until Saturday afternoon. Unfortunately, he had expired.
Does that affect any of our scout units?
I don't know. I hadn't heard either way.
Yeah, I did see the news article on that one. If you have anyone interested in Jamboree, they're taking registrations. I know it's maybe a very difficult time. Financial situations are changing by the minute. I will caution everyone that I think this coronavirus is going to last longer than shorter. I think we're going to be looking at months worth of impacts, not weeks. So anyone want to discuss anything else?
Hey, Scott, I know we can't go in groups on hikes, but this is a great time of year, at least in Juneau. I think in Ketchikan too, that the hiking is a good activity. You know, there's a lot of mud holes are frozen right now. You might want to encourage your families to go out on short hikes to get outdoors. Boy, the Falls Outer Point trail last weekend was really great. It's almost ice-free. There's a couple loops there. You can get kids down to the beach. And, you know, I remember taking our kids there a lot when they were little. The Scout Camp trail is a little icy these days. But again, getting kids out there, if they're in your family, you're already with them, so it's isolation. But I think you can encourage your families to do things like that. And it, you know, I'm sure the parents would appreciate any suggestions to get them outdoors and blow the stink off of them. Older boys, they can go on their own if, you know, but they probably won't. They'd want to go with a brother or a parent. But it's you can isolate yourself by doing that and not be violating these isolation rules.
I will caution about hiking. You really should go with someone else.
Oh yeah.
In 10 Essentials. I just heard about the tragedy last weekend in Ketchikan. You know, with that with a different
float plan would have gone a long way towards that. Here in Ketchikan, the KVRS, Ketchikan Volunteer Rescue Squad, will loan you a spot for no charge, except you leave them your float plan. And if you turn it on when you go out, they know where you are. So if you get into trouble, you just shaved hours off the search.
Days off the search.
Yeah.
Yeah, I carry an inReach. Same thing. So anything else? So, you know, we're all in this together. I'm pulling for you. And if there's nothing else, may the great master of all scouts be with us till we meet again. Good night, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Scott.
Thank you, Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
What the